Welcome to the Mental Craftsman, where we build stronger minds and share the lessons we've learned through what we've lived.
That's having fun. And you want to have fun at work. And you want to be surrounded by people that help you be your authentic yourself. There's nothing like having a friend or a coworker or just somebody in your life that makes you laugh and smile. And isn't it good? I went to a talk myself one time when I was in Wichita, Kansas, and I was in my 20s. And it was around the time my son was born, and he's 27 years old. And it was at a place called Century 2. Century 2 is like an auditorium. It's an event center. And a guy came in, and I think that you might have heard this before, but his opening line was, "Hey, hi, everybody." And he walked on stage, and he was just supposed to make you feel better about who you are, yourself. And he said, give me a show of hands of everybody out there who wants to have a bad day. Just anyone that wants to have a bad day today and tomorrow, just raise your hand. And I mean, I had to turn around and look behind me to see if anybody would raise their hand. And obviously nobody did. So none of us want to have a bad day. And he said, now, give me a show of hands to everybody who has had a bad day. And everybody raised their hands. Then he asked, give me a show of hands to everybody that wants to have a good day. And there was a show of hands. And so we don't plan bad days. We have adversities in our life, and being able to conquer them take many types of virtues in life. And being honest, being mindful, and knowing that sometimes we're going to be tripped up in life. That is what life is, being prepared. But being prepared to have a good day and starting your day out with time for yourself, maybe your phone's off, maybe listen to a good radio show that you like or anything, or read your favorite book, or just sit in silence. And silence is where change can happen in our life, when we're being silent. Silence and great things don't happen, and big things aren't noisy like a rock concert. Big things in our life happen in silence while we're journaling, while we're actually putting thought that's behind the effort that we engage in and participate into our journal. That happens in silence. That's when it's quiet. And that's where our authenticity can sneak out of us. And then we feel it. Over time, if you've watched our first episode here, it was about a guy, Martin, who took the time to plant an avocado tree for it to bear fruit, and the time that it takes for us to bear our own fruit. There's no time limit. If you think things should have happened in your life by now, they didn't happen because we're lacking the effort to put in behind it. We have to have the courage to be authentic, not just to ourselves, but to ourselves. Because when we're working on ourselves, just like Gary with the pants, when he was authentic, it resonates around you. It brings different people into your life, people with the same ideals and the same thoughts and some of the same goals, people that want to be happy, people that do raise their hand when do you want a good day. But how do you keep your day good when something bad happens? We focus on our first thought of the day, which I would like to have a good day because I'm grateful for it. And when you're grateful throughout the day, that means that you're going to focus on the things that you have and not the things that you lack or the things that you want to be, or comparing yourself to people that you feel have more than you. And when you start to do that through gratitude journaling, there's different prompts. What do I have that I appreciate? Believe me, that's a bigger list than what you're lacking. So being wise to that you don't need much more than you have right now is also being mindful into your day. To know that I'm not going to raise my hand to, do you want a heckler in your life? Do you want a troll wrecking you? Those are all things that are going to happen. Those are all things that can help us change our mindset, but we don't let it because we ignore it. And there's people that have a lot of resilience where they can turn that into part of their content. There's podcasts that are just about the trolls, and they use them to feed their delight. And now that troll is getting what he wants, is the attention. But there's bad trolls out there too. The ones that want to trip you up, the ones that don't like happy people, and they don't like you being happy. Yeah, that's true. There's actually people that do not want you to be happy, that do not want you to succeed because they've literally failed at what you're doing. And they're also socially awkward, but they feel real protected behind their keyboard because they're anonymous. You can't see them. It's kind of like when you're in your car and somebody cuts you off and you just say, "You dumbass," or you say something like that, right? Because you have the protection of your car. But if you're at the grocery store and you bump carts with somebody, you don't say, "Hey, you dumbass." No, because that's not anonymous. So realize that says more about the other person than it does you. When you have a goal and you have a purpose and it makes you feel good, that is authenticity. That is being yourself. And when you let things scare you and have fear because of a couple of cockadoodle bullshit jackasses that want to come in and take away your shine, that's where you're going to have to ignore it. So being authentic to yourself means everything to yourself. Being authentic to yourself, it means everything to your family and your loved ones and just anybody that's in your life that you continue as friends. Sometimes having authenticity requires having boundaries against other people that don't agree with where you feel your passion and your purpose is. And I feel that the people that were interviewed at the end of their life, where a ton of them said that they didn't live authentically. They didn't live the way they felt that they could live, that would have made them happier, because they were too busy self-serving people. That's right. They were too busy on the people-pleasing treadmill that never shuts off until you hit the power button. When you hit the power button on that treadmill with people-pleasing, and you shut it off, and you go to the mirror and you just erase all validation from people, how do you feel now? Are you looking for your validation of your self-worth through helping others? Being kind is a virtue, but being run over is a bad habit.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mental Craftsman. We appreciate you being here and building with us. If you like what you hear, make sure to follow us on TikTok and YouTube for more raw conversations, fresh ideas, and new episodes every day. Join the community, stay inspired, and keep crafting your mental tools. Don't forget to follow the Mental Craftsman.